Well, good day, folks. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist. I spend a lot of time talking about politics, and I am passionate about it. I believe that if we're going to change our country, we have to address that. But today I'm not so much about politics, because there are some things that are embedded in our society that I believe just make for a better society. Our military, they don't get to pick sides. They get to follow orders. And they give up a lot of their rights when they sign up for love of country. Doesn't mean they're necessarily agreeing with me or anybody else on any one thing. But because they believe this is a great country, because often there's opportunity in the military and there's discipline, it gives them, in many cases, a way of life, and it becomes a lifelong career. But even if not, I would contend that every vet I've met, I want to say thank you to, but I also want to say that every vet did it because they believe in this country. Now, some of them come away struggling. Here's an opportunity, though. Here's a true opportunity to help out the Vietnam Veterans of Fresno or Clovis?
Both areas.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of Fresno County.
Yeah.
They put on a game fest. And I would like to welcome my guest and veteran, Paul Kaiser. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, let's start off with what Game Fest? We've done this for 3 years, so some of my audience will not be surprised, and hopefully they went. But how many people attended? What are the times?
We get several hundred people attending because it's open to the whole Central Valley. We even have people coming from out of state. And we do it for 3 days. Our very generous host is the Clovis Veterans Memorial District, and they give us staff and everything we need for this, and all profits go to scholarships and programs to help veterans education projects.
So more than 100 people. I heard that last one was better yet.
Yeah, it increases every year.
Okay. One of the things I love is there's a variety of things, variety of games. It's not like it's video games.
No.
It's games that require you to interact with people.
Yes.
The other nice bonus, folks, it's hot. If you're not from my area, but maybe you're from the Bay Area and you wanted to come to this Game Fest, don't have to worry, except for when you're going from your car. Once you're inside that building, the AC is top-notch. I've gotten a little cold in there at times. So for not much money, because it's $25 for 3 days, what is that?
Do the math.
20 hours? Somewhere in that range?
Well, if you wanted to say, yeah, the whole time. And some of those are long-term games. They go, we have games at every level, and they're all tabletop type.
Well, there's definitely interactive games. Several of my friends that are are veterans, they're particularly passionate about role-playing games where you move. They create a big board, and you move across the board with various types of goals, depends on exactly the game. And they're just having fun, and they're thrilled to have young people, though you wouldn't need to be a young person. Anybody's welcome. Just hopefully you're young at heart if you're going to come to a Game Fest.
Right.
What's your favorite game there?
I go checkers. That's about all I can handle. No, I go pretty far back. So the games now are take a little more intensive work. By the way, if you want to learn these games, it's a great place to learn because we got young people who can teach us how. And So I go back. Well, there's one game called Diplomacy, which can last for days if you want to make it go that long. That's very intense, and it does teach you about military and political interaction.
Okay.
So that's one of the good ones. Yeah.
I know that when I've gone, I've had a good time, and one of the things that impressed me the most is you've got some pretty sharp young people running around, and while they're playing games, they're ROTC, meaning they're potentially future veterans.
Mm-hmm.
These young people are sharp, they're motivated, they're welcoming. It's really kind of encouraging to me to see all of those things. For those that are not as enthused about the current generation, some of them are still great.
Yeah, a lot of times we talk about this younger generation, and we concentrate on the worst news that comes out about them, and all they do is sit in basements and go on weird internet sites and things like that. But we are so fortunate we get to meet the best, really, the JROTC from high schools, the ROTC, and then the veterans who are returning to the university. So we get to see the best trained. They're intelligent. They're physically better shape than we ever were, and they are certainly very well trained now. So that is a good thing. If you're immersed in the all the bad news about young people, you need to get out there and meet and work with some of the younger people, particularly ones going into the military or just returning from the military.
They tend to be very motivated kids.
Yeah.
That they're striving for better. And they've been introduced to this idea of meritocracy.
Yeah.
They're not held back by, I'm a victim, but get out there and conquer the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the great things that the military teaches, if you're willing to take that lesson,
Right.
is to get out and conquer the world. That's not necessarily in any particular way, just people can typically do significantly more than they believe they can do, and the military gives them the discipline and a framework to grab the opportunities that are here. Here we're in a country we can define our own destiny.
Yeah, you said to conquer the world. They also conquer themselves in a way, or they're aided by that in the military. A lot of young people have that feeling. They might not tell you about it, but they know they need discipline. Mm-hmm. They know they need dedication and a reality check, and that's something the military gives them.
Before we jumped on air, you mentioned that some of the local ROTC programs, they're struggling a little bit. If you were to make an appeal, what do they need? How can people help them?
Well, of course, you can always go to school board meetings or join the school boards, but just ask if you have kids in high school, if they have the potential for ROTC training, and let the administrators know that you feel that's really important.
Okay. So is it funding? Is it staffing?
Well, yeah, there's where you communicate with your councils and your administrators. They also get funded by the military, and that varies, interestingly enough. I know the Air Force is strongly supports some of the programs. The Army has reduced a little bit of its support. So, as always, it's the money issue.
Okay. So going to school boards, basically creating awareness, you think can fix the problem more than anything else.
Right. And of course you can come to the Game Fest and help support by scholarship money going directly to those programs.
So that scholarship money, meaning they go on for further education of
We
some
give
sort.
Yes, we give scholarships to those who are going on into college in ROTC programs. And then those who are going directly into the military, we give them funds to support them.
Well, that's an important thing. Do you have some success stories?
Yeah. We do. One of the success stories, by the way, is we have 3 cadets. You mentioned cadets and how much they help us in this, and they are terrific. They know how to take over the business. They're the top cadets who come in and really do the work, and they're there on time, and you see that training already working. And so that's a success story in and of itself. Sometimes they even come back before they go into the military. We have some of them doing that this year. So again, that demonstrates some of the virtues that they've learned in our OTC. But we also have programs, a terrific program at Fresno State for veterans coming back. This is a veterans education program, and a lot of them are a little bit concerned about coming back into the academic world. You can imagine the difference between the university world and the military world.
Absolutely.
So Fresno State gives them tutors, special tutors, counseling, books, covers a lot of the costs, and ease them in. So also our money goes to that program for returning veterans.
So basically, they served their time, and even if they chose to re-enlist afterwards, they're going to spend enough time in a civilian position to get some education.
Right. And some of them have served 15 years. Some have served 5 years, or just a 4-year enlistment. And they say, "Hey, you know what? I can do this stuff, but I got to get more education to do what I want to do." And that's what's offered at Fresno State, and that's why we support them too with this.
What kind of money are you guys able to bring in? Just approximate.
6,000 maybe, and it's all dedicated to these program supports and individual supports for.
So nobody's getting paid, and you are.
Well, we don't get paid.
Right.
No.
And you don't have to pay for the hall.
No, that's the Clovis Veterans District is remarkable and exemplary in this country for some of their programs. And you've been over those.
I've been over there many times. Know Lorenzo Rios quite well.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal facility. Again, the AC is great. The food's not too bad either.
We've got a canteen, by the way, and we got pizza and everything that the gamers love to eat.
And it's inexpensive. In other words, for not much money, you could come, spend as much of that 3 days, Friday noon to 10 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's a lot of hours of nice air conditioning, inexpensive food, and a lot of fun.
So are you going to come out and hang out with us?
I've got to work all 3 days, so I will be there a little bit.
Okay.
I own a business that is half a mile away. So I'm right close, but I am scheduled all 3 days. So I can make some of the after hours stuff.
Yeah. Good.
But each time I've gone, I'm happy I went. It's been a great opportunity to meet young people. It's been a lot of fun to play games. If you think about when you were growing up, when your family played, pick your game. Whether it's Chutes and Ladders or chess or Monopoly or, in your case, checkers, what was that like to interact with people?
It was just part of the community, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You were expected to do that. Of course, I grew up in a very small community, close-knit. But you didn't go down into your parents' basement and stare at a screen all day. You had to interact. And, of course, that's the idea. That's why this is not video. Mm-hmm. This is those old games and the new games which bring people together. Yeah.
So you almost develop a sense of community. Even if you didn't have one when you showed up, by the time you're done.
The gaming community is a very close-knit group. And it's beyond the borders. It's all over the country. They come to these massive conventions. This is a little bit smaller, but lots and lots of community, lots and lots of interaction.
Is it unusual that veterans are carrying the mantle on this, or is that kind of normal throughout the United States?
That's an interesting question. I can only say how we got into it. was we got monuments. We build monuments. We help our guys with PTSD. We give financial help to our veterans who are getting a little older. You might
through Vietnam
recognize.
Veterans of America.
Yeah, and then we say, well, our motto is that one generation will never abandon another generation of veterans. That's kind of has a bitter sound to it, but we've moved more and more to supporting young veterans in any way we can. And what are these young people doing in high school? They're doing these games. So why not combine the support with that?
That's an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah.
I know some of your members in your group, they were gamers anyway, so it's just kind of a natural fit. So I was just curious about what was the fit outside of Fresno County?
Yeah. I don't know of any other military group like this. And the Legion or the VFW, whom we work with, in some places might be doing this kind of thing with gaming, but it just seemed a natural fit for us and a bridge to the younger people. But we, any age can come to this, any age.
So it's not really daycare, but there would be somebody.
Yeah, you don't just bring your kids and leave
drop them off.
No.
But there's comfortable seating, so if you wanted to take a break and your kid was still playing a game, you could take a break. Sure,
and we got plenty of room. We got, like I said, a canteen, and there are things for the kids. They have painting. You paint the military or whatever figures, and we'll show them how to do that. And there are gifts, drawings, and all that kind of thing. So a lot of stuff going on.
So you're keeping them engaged. I don't see a lot of board games there, though I know there's a huge stack. I just didn't see it, but I always go late. So I don't see those get used as much, like Monopoly would be a major favorite for a lot of people.
They have Monopoly now. They have Marine Monopoly. They have World War II Monopoly. And there's a Fresno Monopoly game. You know about?
I've owned that one before.
So
that came out in the 70s.
They've captured the market, and it just seems to keep growing. Now that was a game that started during the Depression.
A little before.
Yeah.
Oldest board I've ever seen is the 20s.
Yeah. Okay. So, but there are a lot of other kinds of games. Dungeons and Dragons is a big game. These miniature games where they recreate Vietnam.
So there's a lot of role-playing games.
A lot of the role-playing. Then there's the card games like Magic and some things like that. There are so many, I can't keep up with them all.
So you're not playing poker, I assume, but you might play Gin Rummy or Hearts or
Well,
Spades
maybe.
Or
there's not a big call for that. But we did have some people asking for bridge. Bridge is having a comeback now, and some this real smart young people are learning the bridge now, and of course they're very good at that game. So that's one card game.
Well, that was a great community thing in my family. I never learned to play, but the older generation, my mom and my grandparents, bridge was a normal thing. It was a way to interact with their community. So learning some of these card games, they might be a way to plug into your local community.
Yeah. And so as you said, the miniature games and the role-playing games and the games that require a lot of art, because they paint their own figures and build their own buildings to recreate a war zone or something historic. So a lot of things.
Well, there's 20 hours. So potentially if you have a free weekend, you could be there quite a lot for not much money.
Yeah.
And by the way, folks, this is all going to charity. If you couldn't make it, but you still wanted to somehow support this, is there a way to do that?
Well, most of our fundraising is from businesses and things like that. But of course, we'll take individual donations. There is a website listed here. I don't know if you've shown that. Oh yeah, are you showing that now?
VetGameFest.com?
VetGameFest. And so that'll give you some more ideas about the details. But if you contact any Vietnam veteran in our organization, we'll be happy to take contributions and tell you where that's going to go specifically. You know it's going to go for these kinds of programs.
But primarily for either helping ROTC or helping vets that are going back to schooling, but right here in Fresno County.
Yep.
So you're helping local.
Definitely.
Now, there were a couple of young vets that you know a few more details about that you guys are now helping that are at, I assume, Fresno State? Is it Fresno Pacific?
Fresno State.
It is Fresno State. You want to talk a little bit about those two?
Well,
there's more than two, but...
yeah, we have many that come in every year. They come in what they call cohorts to the Veterans Education Program at Fresno State. So these are people who have served anywhere from, I may have mentioned before, a 4-year term or 20 years. They might have been in and come in and they want to start a new career. So we give them a lot of help with that. This is a young man. You got Joanne. Well, that's right. Yeah. Jeremy Chakelski. And he was the infantry in the U.S. Army, trained combat-focused ground units where teamwork, discipline, and responsibility for others were part of everyday life. He earned his air assault qualification, including helicopter rappelling. Have you ever tried that?
I'm not sure I'm up to that. I think I'm probably not fit enough that I should be doing that at this stage.
And fast-paced field training. These are the guys who no one left behind. Okay. They have to go into battlefield. They go down there and pick it and get them up. And, you know, we had a lot of experience with that in Vietnam, but they're still trained to do that. So they're sharp and they're tough. So he came out of the service with this sense of responsibility and resilience and adaptability, as he calls them. And he plans to carry those same values into healthcare in our community.
So he's still going to try to save people. Is he going to be like an ambulance driver? Is he going to be a doctor?
I don't know. He just said healthcare. He's wise to leave that open, I think, to see where he's going to fit. But just think of the qualifications that he's bringing.
Well, he's already bringing discipline and dedication. Yeah.
Plus some knowledge of treating the injured and ill. So, yeah, and he says he's going to continue his mission to protect, heal, support others with purpose and compassion. These people are very impressive.
Now, are we going to be lucky enough that potentially if somebody wanted to meet him, he would be at Game Fest?
I don't know.
I think you need to put the pressure on.
We invite them. I have another one if you'd...
Sure.
In here. This is Joanna Garcia. I was raised by a resilient mother who taught me perseverance and the value of hard work. She's finished her career in the military, which was where she served as a wheel-led vehicle mechanic and recovery specialist, and had served in South Korea and other places. She's a mother of 2, and she's coming back to Fresno State in the Veterans Education Program, and she's still not sure exactly what she wants to do, but she knows now that she can do it. These people come out of our community, and sometimes the parents, I don't know, but their parents particularly can't give them very much support. And this is their chance to get out there and find out who they are.
Create a whole new career.
And then they have to come to the university, which is a shift from military life. And believe me, I did that myself, and that is a bit of a culture shock.
Well, all the discipline now needs to be internal. There's a bit of external discipline in the military that, you know.
Well, you can imagine coming back from Vietnam and going to the university. You didn't mention.
I'm not quite old enough, but my dad did.
Yeah.
And so I heard his stories.
Good. So he was a veteran.
Yes.
Good for him.
And he served in the Navy for 4 years.
Yeah. So we can relate to that, the difficulty of the shift of cultures from the military. But in our time, you could be sitting in a classroom with other Vietnam veterans and never even know it. They would never mention it because we didn't talk to it about it, because of mood of the times, as you know.
Well, if you don't talk about it, then you don't move beyond certain things. It's pretty hard. So I know a lot of Vietnam veterans where they're struggling still to this day because they didn't get a hero's welcome. They went and they did their duty, because military doesn't decide the political decisions. They go do their duty. That means that the person in charge, we hope, is making wise decisions, but I don't know that that's always the case. And they did their duty. And instead of getting a hero's welcome, which I believe they deserved, they were shunned.
So this helps get over those bad feelings. I think it really does, you know. And we don't want the young people going in now to have they don't have quite the situation we did, but we recognize that they might. But what you were saying reminded me, my son went with the Marines into Iraq the first day, and when he left to go, I thought, what am I going to say to this guy, you know? And I said something like what you're saying: if you do your job and you do it well and honestly, you have nothing to be ashamed of. If the politicians mess it up, you know, don't carry that on your own back. So it's hard to know how to talk sometimes to the younger vets.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm really qualified to do that. I would just simply say I've always been a supporter of the military.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a Marine officer, spent 20 years, and then they convinced him to do another couple years as an officer.
You're always a Marine, right?
And he never stopped being a Marine. And so he had a pretty profound influence on me. And so I have a strong respect for vets. My other grandpa, he served in the Coast Guard up and down the California coast. Really didn't see any battle, but he volunteered and served, and that's where they put him.
Sure.
How do you argue with that?
What years would he have been doing that?
Both of them were World War II.
Okay, so he was guarding the coast.
He was doing something real.
Yeah.
He just luckily never really saw anything. He helped save a couple people. Their boat crashed or leaked. It's now been so many years, I don't remember exactly what happened to the boat, but they saved a few people, and that was about all he saw.
Well, that's enough.
Well, I would say he got darn lucky, as opposed to the other grandpa was in the Pacific Theater, and while I snuck in several times as a kid to hear the stories when his buddies were there, I always got caught and I always got kicked out of the room because they didn't want to talk about it with anybody that wasn't a vet. So I have little pieces, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
Even his sons don't know really what happened with his service record.
I'd like to say something about our organization here. This reminded me. Our organization, the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 933, is open to all era veterans. That means anyone who served from early 60s through the mid-70s when we closed it down. You didn't have to serve in country in Vietnam. You could have served anywhere in the country because we consider we're brothers and sisters, and we all were working together. So it is open to era veterans too.
Well, that's good. I thoroughly believe that veterans need a support network. And Veterans Memorial, the place where this event is happening, July 17th through 19th, is a great place for veterans. Even if you decide, well, I don't want to do the Game Fest, I would recommend that people still walk over and check out the Veterans Memorial. This is a top-notch building. Though it would be a shame if you didn't step inside and try the Game Fest, because I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there are so many things going on there. People come from all over the country to see the kinds of things they're doing there. For instance, we have a veterans class that meets every Monday. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes of people just telling their stories and making presentations and talking of all generations of veterans.
I know. I can't think of the guy's name. I've met him. Nice guy. That runs it.
John Klein.
Thank you.
Yeah, John.
I like John.
Yeah, Janice Stevens started that class 20 plus years ago, but she passed on, and then John is doing it now. And we get 40 to 50 men and women veterans and sometimes spouses coming to that meeting. every Monday morning starts at 9:30. We give a free breakfast, and then 9:30 we start.
Well, we still have a Monday, don't we, before this event? No, we don't.
No, we don't. No. So
No, I hope
yep.
somebody went to that event and invited them all to Game
Oh,
Fest.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was there. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So,
Because you don't want to miss that opportunity.
yeah.
Now, do you do things like go to the American Legion, Veterans of the VFW, places like that, and have you gone and well, they have their meeting and said, hey, look, we got this event and we'd love to have veterans show up to meet the younger generation, to bridge the gap?
Yeah, we do. And of course, we do a lot of events interacting with the Blue Star Moms,
Okay.
the American Legion, the VFW, and all those organizations, because we're all working for the same good. So it's not like we're competing with these other groups.
Well, a little bit.
Well,
but
we'll help them a little. They have their golf tournaments. We'll come, and contribute and everything. So, yeah, we expect them to support what we're doing for the younger vets too.
Well, I sure hope that a bunch of them show up. But more importantly, I like the thought of young kids purposely go, or even if their parents had to drag them there, I think they'll have a good time anyway, purposely going to a place where they have to interact with others. They can't just tune out on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
They get to learn new games. For instance, I love playing chess. I'm not a great player. I'm an okay player. But, I know there's 32 pieces, and I basically know how all of them move, and, it doesn't usually take me that long to find a way to lose, but it's not that I don't appreciate the game. I appreciated when I first learned how to play chess with my dad, and so this time I might try to find a chess game with somebody, maybe somebody younger.
Yeah.
So at least I'd have a chance at winning.
Yeah, there's always a table or two of the cadets
Mm-hmm.
who are learning the old games like chess, which is about the oldest war game there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Persian game originally.
I didn't know that. I thought it was Greek. It's Persian. Okay.
Shamat means kill the king. That's Iran, by the way.
Well, even in that Young Washington movie, they kept using a reference. Even a pawn can take a king or take down a king. I can't remember exactly how they framed that.
By the way, the production of games is incredible, because it has potential for profit, and there are at least 2 Iran war games that came out just before the last misunderstanding with the Iranians. So there are already games out on the Iran war.
That's crazy.
I said we might send one to the Pentagon because then they can follow the rules and end it some way.
Well, I like the idea of ending that one, but I don't know that Iran follows any rules. So
No rules, no.
That's just a tough one, and I hope and pray for the vets that are having to serve there.
Yeah. An example of the superior training and brain power of these service people is the Venezuelan insertion.
That was mind-blowing. Tell us about that.
Well, that I couldn't believe it because I have been in on some of the planning, nothing at any high level, but so I know all the variables that have to go into it. Then when you add that you're going in the country, pinpoint the people, take them out, and the other people throw up their hands.
Well, they didn't just take them out. They took them out of the middle of a military base.
And we didn't lose a single person in that.
Right. And they brought back the key targets alive.
Yeah.
It is a lot different than you just go in to take somebody out.
I know we got help from the Israelis. They're pretty smart, but just our people were just remarkable in that. And imagine the training, air, sea, everything.
Air, sea, and they managed to be quiet about it, so the word didn't get out beforehand.
And it's
Even that's hard when you're talking about a whole ship full of people, probably multiple ships, and I'm assuming multiple helicopters.
and boots on the ground. That's when you lose people. So when you get the boots on the ground, but they lost nothing in that. It's too bad every operation doesn't go that well.
I bet there's a game on that.
I don't know if there's one on the Venezuela insertion yet, but there'll be one probably.
Well, if they've got one on Iran, then they should have one on Venezuela.
Yeah. So,
What's your favorite childhood memory of playing games?
I remember there was a company called Avalon Hill Games, and they were little board games. They had little cardboard pieces. Our favorites were the Civil War game. And so they had Gettysburg and Chattanooga and all that. And we would play those games as an introduction to military history. We learned a lot of history from that. Now, I mean, they're relatively simple compared. But I remember then I would go home and write up the scenario of the game, what happened in the game, what was planned and what happened. They were dice roll games, essentially. And
so they were role-playing
that was
games.
a real introduction to tabletop gaming in the military historical region.
So that particular game gave you an access and a perspective on history.
Yeah.
So your kids could learn something. I keep mentioning kids, not that adults couldn't go. They could still learn something too. But I really would love to see more young people. You got untapped potential there.
Mm-hmm.
That room could easily hold 1,000 people.
Oh yeah,
It would be jumping.
We
if it
got
was,
2 huge rooms and a side room for Dungeons and Dragons and things.
Right, so you could easily host 1,000 people, and you're nowhere near that. So it's not like it's crowded.
No.
It's not like you don't have choices and you don't have veterans there to help you along, and young ROTC students there to help you along in having a great experience.
Mm. I think you should try to get in our brain busting games, which is trivia, more if you can, because putting our minds against those young people, where their memory goes back 20 years, our memory goes back, well, mine anyway. I don't, you're not that old, you're just a kid, but.
Well, I'm 57.
Okay, so you do remember a little bit of the
little
old
bit.
days. And
I'm not that wet behind the ears anymore.
yeah. So, but just the interaction. Sometimes the younger students are really surprised that we know anything. We can remember anything.
Well, if they're teenagers, I mean,
Well, yeah.
You know, that's
they
kind of
already know everything if they're teenagers, right?
right. It's only later when you begin to realize how little you know.
Yeah. Well, talk about then going into the military, how quickly you learn that. The sergeant will tell you the first day.
And every time needed after.
In sometimes a rather profane way.
I've heard rumors. Some of my veteran friends, they have rather salty language.
I'm being very careful.
Well, we're starting to wind down. What's the most positive thing about this? Is
Well,
it the connections? Is it the scholarships? Is it the people?
Boy, they're all kind of on the same level. I mean, it's the interaction. We talked about that. But it is to get that money so that we can support young veterans or young people who are going in. That's really the main thing for us.
How many people are in your local chapter?
We have, it's like a lot of organizations. We got over 50, 60 people. And there's a cohort of, maybe 10 who are really, really active.
Well, that's like every group.
Yeah. But of course, our group is aging. We are not like the American Legion, the VFW, which can replenish.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually we're going to have to decide to turn all this over to these young people.
Well, it sounds like there is hope. And one of the ways you can realize what hope is out there about the younger generation is to come out, just see for yourself.
Absolutely.
Some of the best and brightest will be there. I've had the pleasure of attending for 3 years. Been going on for 4?
Yeah.
And actually, I think I've done a video, or I've done a show for each one of them. So for me, this is just my way to say thank you to the veterans community and try to give back. Again, this weekend.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if you can get here. they'd welcome somebody from Utah or New Jersey or Alaska or Hawaii if you were inclined. Why you'd leave Hawaii, I don't know, but this Game Fest might be a good reason. Or if you just want to help out.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't attend because you got plans. They'd still take your money because the money's going to go to a good cause. So Friday, everything launches. You have a big speech. How do you launch? Do just people walk in and start playing games? What happens?
Well,
because I've never been there on Friday opening.
I have a PowerPoint,
Uh-oh.
so I often do with my talks, and we just start showing pictures of our logo, of course, but also military games, people in the military who are playing games, people in World War II playing games, and a history of games, and come on in, and we're open. A lot of people come early because they want a particular game, or they have a particular group they want to work with, so they want to get in there and get their table. There'll be, oh gosh, 50, 60 games at least going on.
At once?
Yeah.
Wow. I've never walked in the Dungeons and Dragons room. That's the only place I haven't been.
It can be scary.
Well, I sure appreciate you coming in and doing this. We're down to about a minute. So, again, I want to emphasize, great cause. 3 days. Cheap price. Great air conditioning.
Food.
Good food. Lots of fun. And an opportunity to meet your community. An opportunity to be enthused about young people. Because some of the best and brightest will be there. An opportunity to just help do a good thing. Any final thoughts, Paul?
That's just to thank you for giving us this opportunity, and we will look forward to seeing you and put you through some of those games, see what you really know.
Well, I realize as I get older, I know a lot less than I thought I did.
Well, when we're 17, we think we know everything anyway. So
yes, we do. But as we get older, we realize,
oh boy,
even though I know way more than I did at 17, I also realize how little I know compared to the possibilities. And that's one of the things that, age in theory gives you wisdom. I'm not sure it always works that way, but I'm hoping there's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to everybody for listening today. This is a good cause. This Friday, July 17th, starts at noon. And then Saturday, Sunday starts at 9 a.m. Please come out. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist. Here's a place where you don't have to get involved with politics. Just come out and do the right thing. We'll see you next week.
Under the red, white, and blue, I stand my ground with the